Why on earth would Cole Palmer post a wild X-rated nickname for Man City's Kitman? And Palmer left the club 2 years ago. This guy didn't even play a single minute, yet he's always front and centre in every title celebration. Who is this guy? How did a regular dude end up being the most famous Kitman in football history? If you've watched Amazon Prime's All or Nothing Manchester City, then you already know who Brandon Ashton is. I mean, how could you miss him? This guy is all over the place with his jokes, his over-the-top celebrations, and the way he has become a total fan favourite. Even if you haven't seen the documentary, you've probably come across him online, because this guy went viral not once, but multiple times for his wild antics. But who exactly is Brandon Ashton? And why is the Kitman for Manchester City, someone who's never even played a minute of football, one of the most beloved people at the club? So, let's break it down. Ashton is not your ordinary Kitman. Most people think of a Kitman as someone who works behind the scenes, right? They hand out shirts, clean the dressing room, and make sure the players have their gear ready. And yeah, Ashton does all that, but he's also so much more. Ashton is the heart and soul of the Man City dressing room. He's the guy who keeps the mood light, who makes everyone laugh, and who is basically a part of the team, even though he's never actually played in a match. Man City legend Vincent Kompany said it himself. He called Ashton the heart and soul of the dressing room. When you've got a player like Kompany, who's captained the team through some of its biggest moments, saying something like that, you know it's a big deal. It's not just about the gear, it's about the vibe he brings to the team. Ashton's role goes way beyond folding shirts. He's the guy who makes everyone feel like they're part of something special. So how did an average guy like Brandon Ashton end up in the spotlight? Well, he's been with Man City for over a decade. He joined the club right after leaving high school, which already tells you he's been living the dream from day one. Not many people get to work for the football club they grew up loving, but Ashton made it happen, and as of April 2024, he's still going strong. But the thing that really made him famous? His wild celebrations. If you've ever seen any of Man City's dressing room videos after a big win, you've probably seen Ashton right in the middle of it. He's known for stripping down to his underwear and sliding across the floor in the dressing room, and the players love it. Imagine just winning the Premier League, FA Cup, or even the Champions League, and then here comes Ashton, sliding across the wet floor in his underpants. It's impossible not to laugh. The guy lives for those moments, and the best part, he's always right there in the middle of the trophy celebrations. Let's take a quick look at some of his best moments. First up, the 2019 FA Cup final. City had just smashed Watford 6-0, a joint record scoreline for the FA Cup final, and they completed a domestic treble. You'd think all the attention would go on the players, right? But nope, Ashton was once again front and centre. He was galloping around the locker room, sliding on the floor like it was his own personal victory parade. And Raheem Sterling, who had scored a brace that day, was encouraging him to keep going. I mean, who does that? Only Brandon Ashton. Next, we've got the 2020 Carabao Cup final. City had just beaten Aston Villa 3-1, and the dressing room was electric. Former City defender Nicolas Otamendi captured the whole thing on camera, and Ashton was, of course, sliding across the wet floor, trophy in hand, with nothing but his underpants on. The whole team was singing his name. You know you've made it when the entire squad is serenading you. Then there's the unforgettable 2021-22 Premier League title win. This was one of the most dramatic final days in Premier League history. City came from 2-0 down to beat Aston Villa 3-2 at home, snatching the title from Liverpool by just a single point. It was pure chaos. And who's in the middle of the celebrations? Brandon Ashton, of course. He was living his best life, right there with the players, celebrating like he'd scored the winning goal himself. And it doesn't stop there. After the 2023 FA Cup final, where City beat their arch-rivals Manchester United 2-1, Jack Grealish took on the role of cameraman. The £100 million winger couldn't stop laughing as Ashton slid around the dressing room once again. But the funniest part? Ashton slid right into Grealish's Gucci bag, and Grealish freaked out, shouting, "Hey, watch my Gucci bag!" It's those moments that make Ashton so loved by both players and the fans. But probably the best moment came after the 2023 Champions League final. This was huge. City had just won the treble, a historic achievement for the club, and the dressing room was ready for another classic Ashton moment. The whole team lined up to make a path for him, and Kyle Walker stood at the other end, holding the trophy. Ashton slid right across the floor, grabbed the Champions League trophy and lifted it high into the air. You could see the pure joy on his face, and the whole team went wild. It was like Ashton was one of the players, sharing in the biggest moment of the club's history. So, what's the secret behind Ashton's popularity? It's simple. He's real. He's not trying to be someone he's not. He's just a guy who loves football, loves his club, and makes everyone around him feel good. Whether it's the way he connects with players or how he turns every celebration into a full-on party, Ashton has earned his place as a beloved figure at Man City. And now, he is leaving Manchester City after 15 years. His departure marks the end of an era for Manchester City, especially for those who spent years with him behind the scenes. Jack Grealish, who had always been close to Ashton, posted a simple but heartfelt message. "Best guy ever. You will be missed, brother." That summed it up for many. But it wasn't just Grealish. Aymeric Laporte, who left the club in 2023, also reached out saying, "Thank you, bro. All the best." Laporte and Ashton shared some memorable years at the club, and you could tell the bond was strong. But perhaps the most unusual reaction came from Cole Palmer. In typical cold fashion, he paid tribute to Ashton with a cheeky post, writing, "Bollocks chops." That's just how close the players were to him. But what's really interesting about Ashton's departure is the timing. He announced it on the same morning that Manchester City's 115 charges hearing started. While the spotlight might be on the charges hearing, for many, Ashton's exit is an even bigger emotional hit. Nigel de Jong, another City legend, also commented, saying, "Child of the club, good luck, mate." At the end of the day, Brandon Ashton might just be the kit man, but to the players and the fans, he's so much more. He's the guy who makes the good times even better and keeps everyone's spirits high. So the next time you see City celebrating another trophy, keep an eye out for Ashton, because you can bet he'll be sliding across that dressing room floor. This guy will find a way. Do you think his absence will change the dressing room vibe? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out our other videos for more amazing stories. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.